Hey folks, welcome to part 6 of my journey along the Bruce Trail. I'm Lexus Hikes and thanks for joining. This footage here is from my hikes done in June of 2024, and of course in the same year, following month, July is where we're at now. The heat continued, the bugs continued, and my determination to finish by September followed along with it. This video will only feature 2 hikes because I only did 2 hikes on the Bruce in July. Mind you, they were both very significant. The first one is me finishing Iroquoia, which was a huge deal to me, something that had taken me a few years to finish, and I did it in between hikes here and there and big trips here and there because I am somewhat local to that area. But it just felt like forever, and I'm glad I was able to finish it before I hopped back up to Craigleith Park to go through Blue Mountain, because finishing Blue Mountain section, which is what my second hike is, meant that I had also reached the halfway point on the trail. So there were 2 very big days for me. They were also both very long, hot, sweaty, buggy days, but that was just the theme for the summer, and I learned to embrace it and love it, and it was a great time. Okay, so against my better judgment, I'm hiking on a Saturday, and this is the parking situation right now, but I am where I left off last time, where that nice girl gave me a ride back to my car, heading up at scout camp, and we're absolutely dripping with sweat right now. I just crossed, Guelph line, and it was through a rocky, very wet, very flooded, very buggy trail, and despite all the cars I saw at the beginning, everybody either was way ahead of me or they went in the other direction, which they probably did because that's the easier way to get to Mount Nemo without paying. I'm not going to Mount Nemo, I'm going to Kelso. Anyways, the sweat is just pouring off me, but glad I wore my long pants today because it was covered in poison ivy. Anyways, onwards. So I was coming from there, I got distracted, I kept walking that way. It's a lovely trail, but no. We're going this way. Not taking shortcuts today. Ooh, there's steam coming off the bridge. Anyways, that's my update, but I did run into a couple at the next little trail sign that indicated to me that I was going the wrong way, and one lady was freaking out because of the bugs, so I shared some bug spray with them, and maybe that's why I took the long way.
Today's forecast: warm with 100% chance of gorgeous! Okay, so hopefully it won't be as busy. I just patched a bunch of people, but leaving Crawford Lake now, I could have taken a 800-meter shortcut trail, but today's really hard because I keep passing shortcuts. That's okay. It's okay. It's all worth it. It's all worth it. Definitely a few things that I do when I'm hiking. I talk to myself often, loudly, which is good. It scares bears away if you're in bear country. I also remind myself that it's worth it, and I need to do that because sometimes in the moment it doesn't feel like it because the elements are getting at you or you're tired, and anyone who's done long distance hiking, camping, or just spent time in the outdoors, you understand that it can get to you. Your feet get sore, you feel everything, your mind has been, on its own all day. For me, sometimes that's not the worst thing because it's really busy up there, but you do get to those moments, and I use positive self-talk as I'm hiking to get myself going. I also have an alarming amount of videos and photos of where I reach these shortcuts and me taking note to be like, I'm not taking the shortcut. And then what I would usually do on those days is there's a blue dot on the Bruce Trail app and it shows you exactly where you are. So then I would take a screenshot to prove to myself or anyone else who was interested, look, I did the long way. I went the long way. It meant a lot to me because
it's hard in that moment when you know you could take a shortcut and maybe it's, the Humidex is crazy and the bugs are sticking to your face. Or in the case of mosquitoes, they're flying right into your eyeballs and you've just had it and you want to be done. But the point is you push yourself and you keep going. Finishing a continuous trail really is as easy, quote unquote, as one step at a time. But again, that planning and that getting things done, especially around a tough work schedule, was hard. However, I headed up after this one to Craigleith Provincial Park because I'd finished Iroquoia and now I was determined to get myself to that halfway point, which is where Blue Mountain ends and Beaver Valley begins.
Super nervous. Going back to Pet and Conservation Area. I got a long one today with some elevation gain of some serious degree, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be a good day. It's beautiful. I was up early, but I've had to wait a bit for this Uber, but that's okay. I had less than 12 hours at Craigleith Provincial Park and it was lovely. And today's the day we hit halfway. Question of the day is, who's coming out here to empty this garbage can? So the little trail has indicated that we are going to the left, and I'm disappointed because I think I'd rather go to the right. Not bad view for a road walk. I have passed the halfway point on the trail a little way back. I think there used to be a sign there that just says Maple Lane now, but it's where Blue Mountain ends and Beaver Valley begins. And I'm in the Beaver Valley section, and I've done now officially over half of the Bruce Trail. So, I mean, that's practically doing the whole thing, right? Only 445 kilometers to go. But beautiful day. So glad that I fought against my tired self to come up last night and camp and hike today. Oops. Try not to die. So there's a shortcut that I could have taken, but I didn't. I went around the whole weird looking forest. The trail actually kind of looks like a face. But here we are. We've got about 6 and a bit kilometers to go for the day. Feeling good. Okay, so just came from down there, just climbed in there. Over there is the Lower Side Trail. That would have saved me over 5 kilometers. But obviously I didn't take it, I think. Whew. Oh, sweet. Well, I made it back to my car by 6 just, and I'm a little sunburnt because, man, I just kept sweating it off again today. It was beautiful out though. Beautiful hike.
I can say that I dedicated an alarming amount of time hiking the Bruce Trail thinking about different milestones that I was going to reach. And the halfway point was no exception. I had, thought that I'd get there and there would most likely be tears because I always cry and I get emotional and I'd be excited and I'd be overwhelmed, especially because I was so delayed in getting there, almost a year to where I thought I'd be. And I didn't. I got there and I was like, cool, I'm halfway. Took a couple pictures and then kept going because I was in the middle of a very long hike and I was lost in doing that. So it's you know, sometimes in life it's that lead up, it's that anticipation. Grief with my mom was much that way, you know, having a terminal diagnosis and waiting for someone to pass, you get this anticipatory grief. The same way that I get that excitement leading up to things. But actually getting there, you know, it was great. It was a great feeling. But in the moment, it wasn't as much what I thought it would be. And then there was a million moments on trail where I thought it would be nothing, and they turned out to be great. So it's just one of those unpredictable things. I met incredible people in this short time, but what was most amazing about that second trip is the dedication to go and get it done. I did something that I would claim to only have done in my 20s, and here we are, 2 decades later, and I had actually finished work at 4 o'clock the one day and drove my car 3 and a bit hours to Craigleith Park. I had camped for the night, got up at the crack of dawn, packed up my camp, waited for my Uber, which again took a few tries, hiked 26.5 kilometers, got my car, drove home, got back late, and then the next morning I was up and back at work for 8 a.m. It was this very short, quick trip, but it's the only time I had, and I had planned the rest of my hikes for September, and I knew that I had to get this done. August is coming up in my next video, and it looked very much the same. It was tight. It was all fit in wherever I could. So if I wasn't working, I was traveling and hiking, and it took up a lot of my time, but I'm so glad it did. And everyone in my life was very understanding that this was just a journey that I was on. So thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. Next up will be Beaver Valley, and it was up and down, elevation-wise and emotion-wise. Until next time, get yourself out on a trail, stay safe, and happy hiking.